Well, I was looking for something that was going to help me with Common Core, because I could not wrap my head around how to create lessons or do my lesson planning with Common Core standards.
My impression of a text-dependent question before I came to the task project was, so what time did Little Bear go outside? That, which is a great way to start, but it's so surface compared to what we're really asking them to do now.
We don't want to spend a week on this and move to this and move to this. And then it provided a solution to that.
I came to the Core Task Project when the first close reading exemplar we were given was the Richard Feynman text, and I had some reservations about it, but my kids did incredibly well with it. I found that it really leveled the playing field in the classroom to have students attend to text.
But I had looked at the exemplars. I thought, this is way too hard.
The one that we had the most success with was the New Colossus, and the first 2 questions I thought were going to kill us. And it was just trying to figure out that rhythm with the lesson and where do you support and where do you not support. But by the time we got to the 3rd question, the kids were so engaged.
The New Colossus by Emma Lazarus, and I thought to myself, I don't know many adults that can read this successfully, or who are going to be interested, because it comes across, especially when you start those first 2 lines that are engaging in this idea about a Greek statue, and oh, how boring, you know?
Those students getting to hear uninterrupted what a beautiful piece of writing sounds like, you know, I was glad to get the permission to do that.
It's a death sentence. And as I looked into the lesson plan and it said they're going to analyze the rhyme scheme for the poem, I was thinking, why? This 5th grade. Isn't it possible that this just might be a lofty goal for this text? And I, again, experienced extreme nervousness and anxiety. And again, I was becoming aware that anxiety was a lot more about what I believed. I was facing a real paradigm shift, you know, really big one. Because I believe what everybody believes. I don't mean to believe it, but it gets into you. This idea that certain learners are less capable of engaging with certain content. And when you add this negative affect that I thought would come with this particular poem and the idea of a rhyme scheme, I just sort of, I didn't panic, but I experienced extreme skepticism. And humbled, I think, is the word that I keep using about what these kids can do if we get ourselves out of the way. And I think that we've been making a lot of mistakes based in compassion for our students that have gotten us into these negative, these de-skilling almost patterns in our instruction. So we've been taught that, you know, these students have background knowledge deficits and vocabulary deficits. So we make this great effort to smooth the road for them. And unless they learn to navigate the bumps, we're not teaching them to be thinkers or readers.
It was in 2nd grade. And so we read and reread and reread that text and ask and ask and ask and ask. And children who couldn't have read that text on their own, I had one kid, he's really low, but he could answer the questions. So he's forming the structures in his brain how to comprehend text when he finally can read that grade level text. And I believe that by the time he leaves Tolles, he will be on grade level. When he finally can read that on his own independently, he will already know how to think about it.
It was exciting because we had such different levels of success with the reading, where my high kids were just kind of like, just what do you want me to do? Just tell me what you want me to do. And our ELL kids and our special ed kids were the ones who were working really hard and struggling, but they could find the answer. They couldn't get as deep as we wanted them to get with it, but they were feeling very successful because they were finding the answers in the text.
It's a civil rights issue to withhold instruction from students because we feel that they can't do it.
And then what we saw is that they can.
the kids have to think a different way, but we have to think a different way too.
And this project allows the teacher to sit back and watch the students open their brains up.
And I think for me, I'm going to be going on that journey with the students as they show me how deeply they can really think, because I don't really know, because I haven't been teaching that deeply for a long time. And I'm excited, but it's a slow and rich process. And it's like, to me, it's like organic farming. You know, you're not just you're gonna get out there and you're gonna pull every weed and you're gonna do it by hand. It's gonna take a long time and you're gonna pick off the bugs. But what you're gonna get is gonna be something you're not gonna get as many melons, but they're gonna be really nutritious and they're gonna be really flavorful. It's not, you know, so that's what it reminds me of. It really is in a different way, an organic process, arising from the students' thinking and not from us pushing it in. And so that's what it means to me.
And I think that that's something that these close reading, if a teacher can let go of the need to control what's happening in their classroom for an hour and just see what happens, then they're going to find that we've been underselling our kids at all levels for a really long time.